Well, I found some wild guitars today. They're made in Germany by a man named Frank Deimel. Let's check them out. All right, so here they are, some of the Deimel range of guitars. I believe this body shape is typically called the Firestar or something like that, the Firestar. Now, the one I really want to talk about first is this one with the pink and green pickups. Now that says Deimel Firestar LesLee. Now Synchronizer number 216. Now the reason, if you look up close here, we have a bunch of switches. We got a clear pick guard letting you see all this crazy ass wiring. If you look right there, it says piezo. This comes with a piezo pickup as well as what looks to be some P90s. But one of the main things it has that's really weird is back here, the behind the bridge pickups. So we got one P90, two P90. We got our bridge, and then we got a low voltage lipstick style, like a Telecaster style pickup behind the bridge. I found a couple of demos of this guitar. They have some like prototypes and stuff, and I've seen what it's really used for is the LesLee cabinet. I've also seen some people pick over top of it and get like that really chimey sound, but it picks it up. So what a LesLee cabinet is, if you don't know, long time ago I believe it would go with like a keyboard and big speaker cabinet with the horn in the top, and it would spin 360 degrees. So your sound would get this waviness to it. Now there's other ways to get a similar tone like that, but that's one of the oldest, it's one of the biggest, and this guitar is set up with it. The way it does it, I don't think there's like, it has something to do with the piezo, I think. So the piezo is basically like an acoustic response pickup. It really gets the resonance of the guitar itself. Lots of times people will have piezo pickups at like near the saddles of the bridge on their guitar. It gives it more of an acoustic, airy feel. But why this is being used, the way the LesLee is, the signal is being passed, it's kind of being like spun through the pickups itself, creating that oscillating effect. And with some of these switches, you can choose if you want to oscillate between neck and bridge, or if you want to oscillate between neck and behind the bridge. It also has a kill switch and 21 medium jumbo frets. The fretboard is Indian rosewood, so that's pretty nice. We got a swamp ash body that's got a real specific sound. I know Marcus Miller really likes swamp ash on most of his basses. It's a non-figured maple neck, so nothing fancy going on there. Scale length 25.5, so you know, like a typical Fender. The pickguard is clear acrylic. And let's see, let's look further in the guitar. Let's see if it'll let us. Yeah, here we go, looking in that control panel. So you got your control switch, the volume to your piezo, and it's also, it seems like it's a blend pot. We got a tone knob. Oh, right, and then there's this wave stuff. I really don't understand this. This all hooks up to some type of modular effect. I was watching them use this guitar live. I saw a couple people play it more how I would play a guitar, but it seemed like they were almost using this as like some kind, using the guitar and plugging it in through this input as almost like some type of MIDI controller. Now, a lot of these guitars, let's go back here, have cavities in them. And we're going to get more into the cavity. Ah, where am I? This is not where I want to be. Okay, right here. So this one, oh, this one's a baritone. So getting even more out there. But I really want to talk to you about are these sections of the guitar right here. Even though this is their baritone guitar, not really looking much at this aspect. Their other Firestar models, or at least the experimental guitar, I believe they call it, has these things here, right? And in these are magnetic covers. This part of the body is chambered out. It's like routed out, right? and there's a cavity in there, there's piezo pickups wired in there. And those covers are magnetized. Now, that's giving it some acoustic resonance, kind of like a sound hole, but really why they put that there is they want to open those cavities. You just pop them right off, and they want to put like rice or beads in there, or I don't know, maybe something to muffle it. And so with them putting like a rice or a bead in those cavities with the piezo pickups in there, as you shook the bass, it would give it kind of like a scraping, maybe a maraca feel. Who knows what it would do? Maybe you put something in there like a pillow, not a pillow, but something like you would put in a bass drum to like muffle it, and that could change your sound. Also, just drumming on the guitar, it picks it up. When I was talking about them using like that, like some type of modular, I don't know, I'm not really into that electronic sampling type stuff, but they were kind of using it almost like a MIDI trigger or for samples, and they were kind of just making sounds on the guitar, maybe holding a chord, swelling in the volume and getting more of a hum out of it, and then having the tone, which is not a guitar tone I was familiar to hearing, kind of be used in some type of a loop. It was all very electronic. Of course, you could play regular style rock and roll on there, and I'd be really interested to see how it sounded. But let's look into this baritone one. The finish on that last one was crazy. I really liked the clear pick guard, especially with that wiring. This also just looks interesting. Their body shape alone is very unique. It's not a Strat, or, I mean, it's kind of similar to maybe an Explorer or a Firebird. It's definitely its own look. We also got a single coil Strat style pickup in the middle and the behind the bridge. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Like I said, 2 chambers, another swamp ash body. It's a transparent lacquer. It's an ebony fretboard. So we got red side dots, and I think we got red on the 12th and 5th fret. It's a baritone scale, so it's longer. So that being 28.62 inches, I think. I don't know. It's got a D-tuner on it, Diodario D-tuner. So they got their own pickups in it. Well, I mean, that makes sense. They seem to be very specific to the guitar. But the hand-wound Deimel P90s they have in it. They have the T90 made by Deimel. They have the hand-wound HB P90. And the hand-wound Deimel Jaguar pickup in there as well. They have the built-in piezos in each cavity. And also there's other piezos in the disc. I'm not sure what the disc is. They got a lot going on with the piezo. There is a LesLee circuit or whatever built in here. That's what some of these switches are. You can also change the rate and depth. So almost think of like a chorus pedal, how deep that effect is and how long that effect takes to process and how long it lasts for. That's what all the knobs and switches do. It could be stereo or mono. It's got 5 slider switches. They are the LesLee on-off, pickup behind the bridge on-off, middle pickup on-off. So it's kind of like a Big 6 or a Jaguar instead of... So I believe most of these knobs are for the speed and such of the LesLee cabinet. The pickups and the piezo and the LesLee itself are turned on via the switches. But like I said, they got some interesting stuff. I have never seen cavities with piezos with the intention of being filled to change the sound, and I've definitely never seen a behind the bridge pickup. So let's look at some more finishes. They got a lot of cool stuff. All the guitars seem to have tremolos, switches, a lot going on. This one seems to be semi-hollow, more traditionally. That's one of the experimental semi-hollow Deimel Bluestar. What kind of pickups are in that? Some type of humbucker or foil? I don't know. So it's called the BOLTTONE number 17. Has a lot of wire inside. The customer asked for a tornapipulator. I don't know what the hell that is. A pickup LesLee, a splittable dual gold. Yep, they're gold foils. I thought those might be foil pickups. Gold foil Mojo pickups, a piezo disc, a piezo behind the bridge, a high pass blend pot. So what do they call that? Like the surf switch or strangle switch, but I believe this is a blend pot. So I think that would be a pot that you spin, and the further you spin it up, the more lows you cut. I think that's how it would work. Got some other piezo thing going on. High pass, master volume, master tone, a dial switch for either behind the bridge or the bridge pickup. I think that's talking about running with the LesLee, the individual volume wheeler pot for the piezo. There's individual pots for the piezo and for the individual pickups. I believe that's what that's saying. It says, yes, we are now eligible to work for NASA. So that's an interesting looking, almost tortoiseshell pick guard, but a little different. Those silver foil pickups, I guess you would call them, got a real interesting look. This is more of that lipstick style pickup, where the last one, which would be even lower voltage, more found like in a Dan Electro coming out of New Jersey, and those Sears Roebuck guitars. I know a lot of the garage bands like to use that whole garage rock thing. People from the 60s, especially the surf scene, and then they would kind of upgrade and get their Jaguar. But I know people like Jack White and that rebirth of the garage rock in the 2000s. A lot of those guys like those Dan Electros and the lipstick pickups. I've seen people put them in the neck of Telecasters before as well. And that's pretty much as low voltage as you can get with a pickup. What else we got? Let's hit load more. See what... Oh, that thing looks cool. So that's the Firestar. So we looked at the Firestar before. This seems to have more of a silver metal flake with a translucent green pick guard. This thing really looking wild. I'm enjoying that. I'm loving the body shapes. Very futuristic, very Jetsons looking. Those look to be some type of P90 pickups. Does this have a LesLee in it? Because it's got mad switches. I don't see anything about saying... let's see. Canadian hard rock maple. It's a poplar body. Wagner medium jumbo frets. Indian rosewood board. Standard Fender scale. Nitro finish with a silver sparkle so it'll crack. Acrylic pick guard. JMV, hand-wound Deimel pickups. That's what they're calling those. They look like Oh, and then the bridge one is labeled as hand-wound Deimel JM90. So they are different. There is a built-in mono LesLee pickup, so that's what some of the switches are for, with speed and intensity wheelers. So if you look over here, wheelers, that's them. So just as you would have like the blend capability with a knob, they're taking those little wheels you could spin with your fingers, and that's how you're controlling the intensity and the speed of the LesLee cabinet, which would give you like an oscillating effect. It's doing something with the signal between the two pickups. That's how it's achieving it. Really interesting though. Really wild finishes, wild looking guitars, and some wild wiring. I mean, just look at those pickup covers. They're like acrylic, they're shaped differently, they're just really nice, really interesting. Almost look like a Les Paul special body. We got another one here in Ellipse with that little chambered piezo. I'm loving that like turquoise-ish pick guard we got going on right there. And like I said, a pretty unique body style. But go over to DeimelGuitarWorks.com. Go look for yourself. These things do not come cheap, as you can imagine. They are mostly custom built. I believe they have this one double star, kind of looks like a Les Paul special with a tremolo system on it. Yeah, it looks like P90 style, at least influenced pickups. Their own, I would imagine, yes. It's called Plexi Top P90 in the purple on top. Then we got a dark turquoise Plexi P90 so in the bottom. So we got two of the same pickups. Kind of looks like a Les Paul special to me. Doesn't seem to have something too crazy going on with the wiring. I would imagine this is one of their cheaper standard models. This is going for almost 3,600 euros, I think. Let's type that into the converter. We're just typing a rough 3,600. That translates to $3,842.66. If I'm right in how you read that, I don't know. Their decimals and commas are in different spots. I think I have no idea. But I think that's what we're looking at right there. One of their cheaper models being close to $4,000, and this is coming from Germany. So if you were to buy it, you're definitely looking at going through customs and import tax and all that nonsense as well. It's definitely hard to get products from Germany. I've tried to get some stuff from the Silver Machine pedal and all that German Jupiter Effects, a German effects company. I was able to find some used ones in America to avoid those fees, but it does cost a lot extra buying something from Germany. I can't imagine this is too cheap to ship either. It seems to have like a Telly style bridge with those saddles, but then a tremolo on it. Still very interesting. Red inlays. Like I said, this seems to be for sale and can be ordered right now and skipping the wait. The rest of these guitars, they kind of have, you put your own take on them. You'd go here, you could read more, set up an order, and they start building it, more of a made to order. I think you use one of these basically as a profile, change it as you wish, or buy it like that. A lot of cool stuff going on. Loving it. Some awesome looking work going on here. All very 60s looking. I love the 60s look. I love the wiring shots. I love all the colors. This flat black over here with like those mismatching colors just really looks cool. Really appreciate it. Yeah, those headstocks are alright. Nothing too fancy going on though. A lot going on, especially if you're into some shoegaze, some type of sampling, maybe scoring something, get a lot of weird sounds. This is something you could use to build sounds opposed to just play the guitar. But I hope you guys like the video. Hit like and subscribe. We're going to do another episode of our traditional Pogo City Radio podcast probably tomorrow. We were looking at it, maybe doing it today, but one of our close friends, Justin Sakali, passed away, and we're not really in the mood to do a full-fledged podcast, so he will be missed. And go over to the podcast, pogocity.com, for more fun. Follow us on all social medias at Pogo City Radio. I'm Andrew. I'll see you later.